What's up, guys? Jags Nation here to bring you another video. In today's video, I'll be going over 5 potential free agent targets for the offensive side of the ball. Now, my next video will be 5 for the defense, but this video is just 5 for the offense. Now, before we get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Jags Fan K. Me and him did a video the other day together talking about the draft, free agency, and much more. So I'll go ahead and put a link to that video in the description below, as well as a link to his channel. I'll put that below as well. So definitely go check both of those links in his channel and video out. So, like I said, 5 for the offense. Now, out of these 5, we might sign 1, we might sign 2, we might sign none of these 5 guys. So take it for what it's worth. And out of these 5, I'm not predicting anything. These are 5 guys I either think will be a good fit that I personally want, or one of them or a few that I think the Jaguars might actually go for. So yeah, so let's start off with the first player, and this would be a home run signing, and that is left tackle Trent Williams. Now, when you think of Trent Williams, this dude is just a mauler. He's a bully. He's a guy you want protecting your franchise quarterback. I mean, you've seen what happened to Joe Burrow last year. I mean, Joe Burrow got hurt, like halfway through the season, had a bad knee injury, and had to have surgery, so he's done. He didn't finish out the season. So you don't want that happening to your rookie quarterback, especially a franchise guy. You don't want him to get scared in the pocket. And obviously, Cam Robinson is expected to be a free agent, so we have on the left side, left tackle position that is open. Now, you can draft the guy, but I personally would rather get left tackle Trent Williams. You could also maybe trade for Orlando Brown, but Trent Williams is my #1 choice for left tackle. Now, with him, he is up there in age. He's like 32, 33 years old, so I mean, you might have him 3, 4, maybe 5 years max, but I definitely think it's worth it because you can eventually draft his replacement. But having Trent Williams, I mean, it would just make the offensive line 10 times better in the passing game. Obviously, like I said, protecting Trevor Lawrence, as well as in the running game as well. I mean, in my opinion, I think the interior offensive line is very underrated. I thought Jonnu played pretty decent this year. I thought Brandon Linder, when healthy, is playing pretty good. A.J. Cann, he's replaceable, but he was, I would say average, above average. So the interior offensive line is definitely pretty good. So, I mean, you solidify that left side with a left tackle, Trent Williams. Obviously, right tackle, Jawan Taylor has some improvement to do, but overall, your offensive line is 10 times better from what it was last year, and that is huge, especially when you finally getting your franchise quarterback. Now, he is going to be kind of pricey, probably anywhere from 18 to 20 million a year, but luckily for the Jags, we have the most cap space in the NFL, so go ahead and spend it. I know Urban Meyer would probably rather have a quick rebuild than a 2 or 3 year rebuild. I think he'd rather just have a 1, maybe 2 years max. So, like I said, go get Trent Williams. Now, I believe I read somewhere that he doesn't want to go to a rebuilding team, but obviously money talks, and maybe, maybe he would want to play for Urban Meyer. So who knows, but I think Trent Williams is someone the Jaguars need to target, would be a good fit, and definitely I think they are going to try to solve that left tackle spot. Now, the next player is a player I know that I would definitely want to come here. I know probably a lot of other Jaguar fans do as well, and that is the return and reunion of AR-15 A-Rob, Allen Robinson. I mean, we've seen what Allen Robinson has done, especially in Chicago. We've seen what he has done here in Jacksonville. I mean, he had Blake Bortles as his quarterback here. He caught 1,400 yards, had 14 receiving touchdowns. I mean, this dude is a 50-50 guy. You throw it up there, I mean, there's a good chance he's coming down with it. Now, something we didn't see is when in Chicago this year, he played in the slot a decent amount. We didn't see that at all in Jacksonville. So now if you get A-Rob, you know that he can play in the slot, so you can move him all over the field. So that would be huge. It's another target, for Trevor Lawrence, another playmaker for Trevor Lawrence. You want to make sure you put pieces around Trevor Lawrence as well. Obviously, you want give him protection, but you also want to give him more pieces. I mean, could you just imagine Allen Robinson, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault? I mean, those 3 right there, that's already probably, in my opinion, top 5, at least top 10 wide receiver duo in the league. I mean, Allen Robinson, in my opinion, is a top 10 wide receiver, so this would be huge. Now, he is going to be pricey, anywhere probably from 20 to 25 million, but like I said, for Trent Williams, you have the cap space, so go out there and go ahead and spend the money. Now, with Allen Robinson, people are probably going to say, does he really want to come to Jacksonville? Now, believe it or not, on what Brett Martineau and Austin Lane on ESPN Jaguars Radio a few days ago, they had him on actually, and he said he's not throwing anything out, everything's on the table, so he is open to a reunion for the Jags. So we'll see what happens there. He is someone I think would be a great fit for the Jaguars, and someone I hope they do target. Now, the next guy, the #3 player on my list, is wide receiver Curtis Samuel from the Carolina Panthers. Now, some of you are probably saying, why Curtis Samuel? Now, he's not someone that I would probably honestly want, but I think he would be a good fit in the sense that he has the Urban Meyer connection. He was a player for Urban Meyer at Ohio State and did fairly well, and he's done pretty decent. In Carolina, he will be 10 times cheaper than Allen Robinson, so take that for what it's worth if you do want to save money. Now with Curtis Samuel, it seems like him and Laviska Shenault will kind of be the same player, kind of a gadget player. You can move him all over the field, play slot, play a little bit outside. You can play him in the backfield as running back if you really want to, and you can use him on special teams. But he is someone I can see the Jaguars targeting just for the Urban Meyer connection alone. Like I said, he's not my main target, but he is someone I think the Jaguars might potentially target. Now the fourth player on my list is Kenny Golladay, wide receiver from the Detroit Lions. Now, if we can't get Allen Robinson, I'm all for getting Golladay. I want to put more pieces around Trevor Lawrence as much as possible. We already have DJ Chark, already have Laviska Shenault. We have a decent offensive line already, and we have a star running back in James Robinson. Let's go ahead and add another piece. So either Allen Robinson, what did they go? Maybe they go get Curtis Samuel, but if not, I'm all for Golladay. And also, remember his offensive coordinator from the past 2 years is now Bevel is now our offensive coordinator. Now I know some Lions fans and some other fans are going to be like, he's a terrible offensive coordinator, but you have Matthew Stafford who stood up for him saying he's a good guy. He likes him as offensive coordinator. Same thing with Marvin Jones. So maybe Golladay thinks the same way, and he would come here to be with Urban Meyer and his old offensive coordinator. He would be more expensive than Curtis Samuel. I don't think as much as Allen Robinson. With Golladay, he is a deep threat. He has had some injury problems in the past, so you got to take that into consideration. But overall, I think Golladay would be another great signing for the Jaguars. And now the fifth and final offensive player I think the Jaguars might target, and I personally hope they target, is tight end Jonnu Smith from the Tennessee Titans. We need a tight end so bad. We haven't had one in years. When I mean years, we did go spend money in 2015 on Julius Thomas. He ended up being a total bust from the Denver Broncos. So we definitely need a tight end. I mean, we have Tyler Eifert, who had maybe had not even a handful of good games this year. We have James O'Shaughnessy, who I personally like, but he's a number 3 tight end at best, and he's a good blocker. And we have Josh Oliver, who only played like 2 games in 2 years due to injury. So we definitely need to get a tight end, either draft one or get one for agency, or get both, get one for agency and also draft one in later rounds. But if we could pick a tight end, I personally would go for Jonnu Smith. He has been pretty healthy for the most part. Throughout his career, he's pretty good at run blocking, but he's really good in the red zone. I mean, he took off this year for the Tennessee Titans. He opened up the passing game. He helped Ryan Tannehill out a lot. And I think his price tag would probably be around $9 to $10 million a year, so not too bad. Like I said, we have the cap space, so let's go ahead and spend it. So I'm all for bringing Jonnu Smith, and I think he would open up the middle of the field for Trevor Lawrence. Like I said, protect him and also put as many playmakers you can on the outside. So those are my 5 potential targets for the Jacksonville Jaguars on the offensive side of the ball. We got left tackle Trent Williams, wide receiver Allen Robinson, wide receiver Curtis Samuel, wide receiver Kenny Golladay, and also tight end Jonnu Smith. Now there are others. I might do another video talking about other free agent targets. My next video will be 5 for the defensive side of the ball. But overall, go Jags, and I hope we do sign 1 or 2 of these guys, maybe 3. But at least sign one of them. If I had to pick, definitely get Trent Williams. You want to protect Trevor Lawrence as best as you can. But I'll go ahead and put a link to, like I said, a link to Jags Fan Cave video that we did the other day, talking about the draft free agency. I'll put a link to that below. So be on the lookout for a bunch of videos coming out soon. I'm going to be doing, like I said, another free agency video talking about the defense. Also a few mock drafts, mock drafts where I don't do any trades, a few mock drafts where I do trades. So we have a bunch of videos coming out soon as well. I'm going to be putting up a video talking about the Jags finally finalized their coaching staff. So I'll do a video talking about all the coaches and what I think they all bring to the table. So overall, go Jags, and thanks for watching.